So, said this before, Fetterman has always been a Zionist. This wasn't a secret. When we advocated for him, for his candidacy in the Senate, that was something that was known. He was better than the alternative. Turns out he might actually have been worse. Dude's a lunatic. I'm not a progressive. Fetterman breaks with the left, showing a maverick side. That's a charitable way of saying it. So Fetterman explicitly promoted himself as a Fetterman the entire time that he was running. This is not like Biden saying he's a capitalist or whatever. This is an unpleasant reminder that he's not as woke as you want him to be. He said, did I say as a Fetterman? It does feel like he's sort of abandoned his Fetterman roots, hasn't he? As a progressive. He did, well, hold on. He did promote himself as a Fetterman. He did say that was his name, okay? No, he explicitly promoted himself as a progressive the entire time. And now he's saying that he's not one. Maverick is the word they use for sellout. Yeah, it's a stupid word. It's a stupid word. Vosh, I think that's the brain injury. I do genuinely think there is a possibility that his poor health has in some way shifted his personality. That has, happened before. That's not new, I guess, but I don't know. He's always been a Zionist, but like he has been insane. Like he has been like arguing with people on Twitter. He's been like waving the Israeli flag. Like unbelievable. He's also getting divorced, is he? From his hot illegal immigrant wife? Is that true? I don't see any evidence of that. I just Googled Fetterman divorce and it doesn't say anything. So you lied, I assume, because there would otherwise be, articles on it. Not actually the case. It was a meme on Twitter. Don't tell me memes on Twitter. I saw like one tabloid saying they're on bad terms. I wouldn't go off of that. Anyway, it is I mean, yeah, maybe Emmy loves tacos. I don't know. He always had like, I guess, the seed of evil on this. Being a Zionist has never been a good thing, at least not in the context of Zionism under like, he said the not a progressive line the whole time. Looking back, I don't think this is a heel turn. Fetterman doesn't want to be attached to a label. Fetterman, the lieutenant governor of Pennsylvania, who's a heavy favorite to win the Democratic Senate nomination, bristles at Bernie Sanders comparisons. There are no parallels. His campaign for Sanders, the independent senator from Vermont in the past, he said he's not interested in collecting endorsements from the party's big names from December. This our own campaign, our own res. Asked whether he considered himself to be a progressive, Fetterman said, no, I'm just a Democrat that has always run on what I believe in. Yeah, to me, this sounds more like him trying to downplay how progressive he is rather than him literally like breaking with the progressive left. Like he's trying to come across as more of a Big Tent character. He literally ran as a progressive. Like there's no ambiguity there. He explicitly said in his campaigning, like it's time for progressive change. Let's get a progressive voice out there. Blah 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 blah. 2023's milkshake duck in politics. Oh, massively so. Yeah, massively so. It's insane that kept sending me text messages like, we need a progressive movement. It really is incredible how comfortable people are with grifting their way to power, man. Jesus Christ. Like, it's one thing when the GOP does it, like Santos or whatever, but when Democrats do it, man. Between Sinema and Fetterman, progressives are going to have some hella trust issues. Yeah. The Israeli lobbyists must have been giving him a compelling speech. Well, clarify, the Zionist lobbyists. Again, the vast majority of Zionists in the world are not Israelis. There are only like 5 Israelis in the world. There are lots of conservative Christians. Is he a sellout or ideologically a Zionist? See, that's the thing that I don't understand. I expected that he would be like, it's just a sellout thing, like AIPAC got to him or whatever. But he is doing shit that like, I don't think you could buy out of a person. You know what I mean? The level of enthusiasm that he is demonstrating for shilling for Israel or whatever. Yeah, he's going really hard. So I think it's authentically him. It's just, genuinely insane. He's more passionate about this than he has been about anything he's ever said or done before, which is, great. And of course, it's completely deflated his campaign. I mean, if this was an insincere attempt to like pivot over to the, to the center or to the right or whatever else, if this was some effort to, adjust his backing, his constituency, it's failed. I mean, people hate him now. Stuff like this, I think, is going to be a resounding example Resounding example. I can't talk for shit, man. It's going to be a reminder, if nothing else, that like there are limits to how much you can virtue signal to the left and then pull away from them before you completely f your ability to authentically appeal to anyone. Barely tweets anymore, and he gets like no attention on that. Twitter isn't everything, of course, but a lot of his support was definitely, you know, it's like wave of online enthusiasm that helped. He was getting a ton of attention back when he was beefing with Oz. Remember? He uses Threads too. The Instagram chat app. Who uses that? He's still objectively better than Oz. Um, yeah, probably. Stuff like this really makes me wonder, man. It's the same reason why I'm really hesitant on the Labor Party stuff. I feel like there's a level of radical insincerity that is more dangerous than just being worse on policy. Then again, Oz is also like a massive grifter. That's true. It's not like Oz was like a principled conservative. But I don't know. Yeah, if the opposition was a principled conservative, like who would I rather choose? That or somebody as capable of shifting over, you know? It's like the Labor Party. You can't trust the Labor Party. We got the majority, Vosh. That's why it's better. Yeah, I'm envisioning a future a month from now where Biden makes some tepid comment on like Israel committing war crimes, and Fetterman is like, "Oh, so it's going to be like that, huh? Well, I'm not going to sign off on any progressive legislation that goes through the Senate until I can get it like amended with a bill to provide $1 trillion to Israel in aid," or some insane shit like that. I mean, I don't know, right? Crazy, man. It's just Pennsylvania in general. They're all awful. Is Pennsylvania bad? Like, isn't Pennsylvania generally pretty left-leaning as the states go? It varies. Yeah. Remember the Fetterman replacement theory? Maybe it was true. Shifting my brain to believe in the Fetterman replacement theory in order to explain away this change in behavior. You really telling me this is all the same guy? AIPAC got to him, replaced him with something different, something worse. Him wearing an Israeli flag as a cape was genuinely one of the most cringe things. Yeah, unbelievable. Can you, like, this is like borderline, this is like treasonous shit, dude. I mean, it's not really treason, but like the idea of a U.S. senator being like wearing a flag as a cape, like this is ridiculous and over the top if it was an American flag. But this is appalling. I mean, leaving aside the fact that this is being done, keep in mind, this was not done like on October 8th or whatever. This was well after the Palestinian death toll had been multiple times larger than the number of Israelis killed by Hamas. And he wears the flag cape. Insane. This would be cringe and over the top and you know, reprehensible if it was an American flag. You know, it's like a sign of rot in politics that things have gotten to that level of like shallow virtue signaling. But it's appalling here. A lot of people at the protest were doing that. Yeah, a lot of people at the protest weren't U.S. senators. He's a body double, don't you understand? Yeah, that's true. He's got many people doing this. It's like if a progressive suddenly wore a Confederate flag. Yeah. Most senators and reps don't even do this. They're quietly complicit. Yeah, he's like the loudest pro-Israeli senator, I think. I can't think of any other senator that has done as much to, you know, Jesus Christ. Look at this ape. Actively arguing against a ceasefire. Phrenology is real as it applies to Fetterman. Yeah, looking back at like early 19th century phrenological drawings, to determine whether or not a person is like a criminal or a serial masturbator, you know? Looking at a photo of Fetterman and then holding up like a bunch of pencil sketches of like what brow shape means that you have a predisposition for violence. Let me see if I can find that. There's one in particular that I have in my head. I think it might be physiognomy. The fuck is this? The deceitful eye, the deceitful mouth, the deceitful chin is... Study this chin, young ladies and gentlemen, and do not depend too much upon the constancy of anyone with a similar chin. A deceitful head, clearly remember this shape and apply it. I'm using this in my day-to-day life. The deceitful head. The nose is wild and weird. How is it not mentioned? I know what you're going to here, but I actually don't know if this was meant to be like an anti-Semitic thing. I've never seen an anti-Semitic caricature that gave them like this gigantic Stan America, American Dad chin. This feels like a collection of weird biases, not just like Dog whistling anti-Semitism. We're returning to a purer form of like phrenological and physiognomy analysis where it's not just people being Nazis, but also people looking at like an ear shape and going, ah, of course. Looks more like anti-Irish propaganda. True. The deceitful head. Oh, that's good.